go. I want to hear you say the thing.
Oh, like and subscribe and that kind of stuff? And go blow someone's mind.
Yeah. Why'd you change your shirt?
Just kind of like felt like it. Why did you change your shirt?
Just felt like it.
So you're just gonna stay around here?
Yep. I was wondering where the bathroom was.
If you're staying around, you could at least play a game.
I was wondering where the bathroom was.
Come on, let's go over to the game shelf.
Yep.
I mean, we could play SimCity Creator.
Who the heck would want to play SimCity Creator?
You know, that's a good question.
Do you have any good games?
You know, that's a good question.
I'm heading to the bathroom.
Hey, I'm Mind Blower, and I'm a blow your mind. Psh, and do I have any good games? Guess we'll have to go through my game collection. Well, there's only one place to start. This bag. My NES collection. My aftermarket console's broken, so I'll have to access most of these from the Switch. But not all of them are on the Virtual Console. Anyways, the first one happens to be Backstreet Brawlers, a game made for the Power Glove. I don't really remember much from this game other than it was kind of but I do remember a lot from Final Fantasy, which is mostly restarting a lot because I was stupid and couldn't figure out how to save. But I did have fun going to the first town and then quitting. Anyways, next game is Metroid, and I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Didn't know games could be so realistic. I mean, I did get further than I did with Final Fantasy at least, but it would be nice to easily figure out what to do. This game is pretty cryptic since there are no maps. I know that if I actually tried to make progress, I probably would, but I guess I'll have to wait and see. The next game is Racket Attack.
Tennis.
The first Super Mario is such a fun game. I haven't beat it, probably because I'm bad at video games, but it doesn't take away the fact that it's a really fun platforming game. It also comes with a copy of Duck Hunt, which is like shoot duck. That's it. Unlike in Tetris where you stack blocks. Well, that's my NES collection. I think I need to get a rating system and really rate my collections. Some people slap their knees, other people just give it a number. I, personally, rate about how many water cups I can drink. I'd rate my NES collection a solid 4 cups of water out of 10. Nothing too special, I'm just basically starting out some of my old collections, so I think a 4 is pretty solid. Especially some of these games are just games I bought for like $5 at a thrift store. Now onto the SNES. That's it. 3 games, starting with the Super Game Boy. Snap in a Game Boy game and now I can play it on the big screen, if my SNES will. Next is F-Zero. This game was one of the first racing games for the SNES. It plays really fast and is super fun, especially for a launch title. Super Mario World is up next and it's a great game. I mean, it's a Mario game, they'd be right if it wasn't. It has a bunch of cool features to Mario, like Yoshi and the Cape Feather. There's a reason people think of it as one of the best Mario games. And that ends my SNES collection. I give it a solid 3 cups of water for a solid 3 games. Well, let's move on to my N64 collection. The N64 era is considered a golden age for many, yours truly included. There's so many good games from this era, like the Nagano Olympics. You ever want to be in the Olympics? Have fun trying that with an N64 controller. 2 sports games in a row. Up next is NBA Courtside. Gotta rep red, of course. Anyways, next is Pokemon Stadium. Let's just boot it up. So, it needs a Game Boy adapter, and without it, it just shows a black screen. I hope it doesn't show a blank screen with the Game Boy adapter. So the next one is... well, this game is interesting. For some reason, there were barely any RPGs in the N64, so THQ started an animated one that's honestly just okay. Old RPGs are grindfest, but this one's also just kind of fine. At least no one worships this game. Hey, I was looking for the bathroom is... Oh, hey, Quest 64, we worship that game. Yeah, I know about the Sunday ritual. Yeah, where's the bathroom? It's literally in the door behind you. Oh, my bad. Quest 64 is the only game to give me Alzheimer's. Star Fox 64 is one of the best Space Fox games. Take that, Racket Attack! Star Fox 64 is such a good game. My only gripe is that you can't save. Thanks for reminding me that I have Alzheimer's. I remember playing this game as a kid, putting in the cartridge and playing the first few levels. Such a good game. Super Mario 64 is also considered a good game. I agree, but if it's your favorite game, you're kind of basic. Don't hurt me, please. It's like saying you like water, like, yeah, we get it, you need to survive or whatever. Still, playing it is magical and a necessity in anyone's collection. Next is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Even if half the time it's a button masher, it's still super fun. Now take Tony Hawk Pro Skater and make it about snowboarding, and you get a rip-off 180 snowboarding. Twisted Edge Extreme Snowboarding is a game I do enjoy, but Wikipedia does sum it up pretty well. Twisted Edge Extreme Snowboarding was not very well received commercially or critically, and that's pretty much all there is about the game.
That it's a skateboarding game?
Wave Race is basically water Mario Kart. I don't actually own Mario Kart 64, so this is my racing game on the N64, and I mean, it's an alright game if you don't own Mario Kart. It's still one of the better games in my collection. Well, that was my N64 collection. I'd say it's a pretty alright collection, a solid 5 cups of water. Well, I guess that brings us to my GameCube collection. Where else to start other than the Game Boy player? If you don't know, the Game Boy player is an attachment to the GameCube. It's mostly used for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. I did try using a DS game on it, and for some reason it started playing Sonic and the Secret Rings. Pretty good attachment and pretty necessary for collectors, but the first real game is Animal Crossing. The first installment in the series is dated yet worthwhile. It feels like you don't have to maximize profits or really do much in this game, which is relaxing. On the opposite side, Burnout 2. This game is really fun, although not the peak in the series. It's just fun to try not to crash. And when you do, it's fun too.
Hey, so funny story. After I went to the bathroom, I was kind of hungry, so I was looking for the kitchen. So where's the kitchen?
Don't you live in my basement?
You live in my attic?
It's downstairs, and from the living room, just go straight.
Thanks.
FIFA Soccer 05 is a sports game I own. To say I didn't have fun playing this is a lie. I had fun trying to shoot from dumb places and trying to juke everyone on the field. That might have changed if I didn't pay like $1 for it, which is a similar amount to how much I paid for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Wow! Brilliant! He took a bite out of me!
It looks pretty alright. Harvest Moon is a game series I sadly haven't talked much about. I really enjoy farming games, and Harvest Moon is the bar for these games. A Wonderful Life being my favorite Harvest Moon game, there's so much to say. Something about it is just relaxing. The focus isn't on farming as much as other games in the genre. Also, the atmosphere is so weird yet nostalgic, all making it one of my favorite games in the series. The Sims 1 is a game I own on GameCube. It's a weird version of it, just playing weird on the GameCube. Sonic Adventure is kind of weird too. The game obviously is dated, yet you should try it. It's a lot of fun. There's so many characters to play as, some are garbage and some are alright, so it's worth playing or playing a remaster if we ever get that. It's more likely I'll lose everything before we get a Sonic Adventure remake. But Sonic Adventure doesn't even compare to the best Sonic game. I like this one. If we're being serious, Sonic Adventure 2 is the better Sonic Adventure game. Not like it really had much competition. It improved on everything in the Sonic and Shadow stages. The Tails/Eggman and Knuckles/Rouge stages are alright. I mean, they're just kind of boring and not what you want to do in a Sonic game. Sonic Heroes is... I mean, it's pretty good, but I haven't gone in far enough to say it's the best Sonic game. Obviously, this game has its own style if you're playing as 3 characters, but it seems pretty fun. But, you know, what is a good Sonic game? Sonic Riders. This is pretty good. Sonic on a hoverboard. That can't lead to any garbage games. Sonic Riders is a fast Sonic game, which we have figured out makes a good game. Star Fox Adventures? That's a weird Sonic game. I've never gotten in too far into this game. I remember going to the first world and being told what to do, and then quitting and forgetting what to do next time. Tetris World is up next, and I have to say, it's a weird Tetris game. Something about it just feels off. I don't know how to explain it. It also has a story mode. What Tetris game has a story mode? I also own Crash 4, which is apparently a weird Crash game. I haven't played any other Crash Bandicoot games. This one's just kind of fine. Now onto my Zelda collection for this console. I have a few Zelda games in the GameCube. I own Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and the Zelda collection, but I've only made significant progress on the Zelda collection. I played a lot of Ocarina of Time on the collection and not much else. And that's my GameCube collection. Basically just started this one. There's still a lot I want to get, but it's a solid 5 cups of water. Now let's move on to my Wii collection. We started a collection of Animal Crossing City Folk. This is one of the most interesting Animal Crossing games to me. It's just a really polished version of the original Animal Crossing with a separate town you can visit. Some things in this game would be made better in New Leaf, my first Animal Crossing game, so it's interesting to see primitive versions of those features. Some people love watching the world burn. I like my Sims. Now, before you click off, again, some people love watching the world burn. Somehow this game feels so kid-like, even now. Maybe it's because I played it as a kid. I also played this game before I had Animal Crossing and The Sims. I can say I still like it. What's next? Hope it hasn't anything to do with world-famous snowboarder Shaun White. Shaun White snowboarding. The game uses the Wii balance board and it's about snowboarding. Is there really that much to talk about? Could have talked more about that bag of dice. Skate it. It's literally just the same thing but with skateboarding. I can say I did have some fun in this one though. More fun than I did with SimCity. Using the Wiimote to draw in the streets and do everything in this game is painful. Sonic the Secret Rings. Alright, think it's about time I call quits. I found the kitchen but I couldn't find anything to eat. Did you even look for the fridge? Ah, that's what it is. I thought it was a bomb. Sonic Colors is better than Sonic the Secret Rings. Controversial take, I know. It's 2D and 3D, so you can find enjoyment no matter what type of Sonic you prefer. Also, hear me out, but it's a Sonic game. I'm tired of good games. I want to go back to garbage. Spider-Man, friend or foe?
I think God heard my prayers.
This game really makes me feel like Spider-Man. Super Mario Galaxy is many's favorite Wii game. I mean, it's pretty good. While it has less freedom than Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine, that only helps make the levels feel more creative. There's really not another Mario game like this, except for Super Mario Galaxy 2, but I don't own that. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is like the Mario Galaxy of its series. It's the most experimental Zelda game of the time, and I kind of like it for that. It has elements I would lean on a Breath of the Wild, but also is a solid game itself. I also own Twilight Princess for the Wii, but I already talked about my lack of playing it on the GameCube. But looking back on Animal Crossing, Skyward Sword, and Mario Galaxy, the Wii was really a place for serious to experiment, and I like it for that. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is a weird choice for the Wii though. The game just doesn't really fit the console. I can tell it's good, but it probably fits better on Xbox or PlayStation, because playing with a Wiimote just doesn't feel right. Everyone guess numbers? Oh boy, I got a game for you. The Price is Right. Me and my friends played it, and it was alright. I'm not sure what's fun about it, but it's good training for when I get on the show.
Well, that was fun. I mean, we barely started the collection though. We haven't talked about Wii games.
Wii Ski. Oh, it's another snowboarding game. The actual Wii game is made up for Wii Ski though. Wii Play is just a tech demo for the Wii that sold a lot because you can get a controller from it, and it's pretty alright for like 5 minutes. Now, Wii Sports is a better tech demo. I could see you getting a lot of play hours out of this, and that's good for a tech demo. There's 6 sports in this game, and you can definitely play those a lot. There's even more in Wii Sports Resort. Now, I could play this game forever. This game has so much to it, and it's really worth a play, and Wii Fit's just alright.
And that's it for my Wii collection. I give it a solid 4 cups of water. It's pretty alright, but there's a lot of garbage in there, so kind of brings it down. Well, that brings us to the sequel to the Wii U.
The first game is Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Is it weird that I kind of like this game?
Yes.
It's like the dopamine detox version of Mario Party, and I find it really cute and fun. Disney Infinity 3.0 was a game I couldn't bother finding the base for. I remember it being pretty solid, so take my word on that. Now, I could bother playing Just Dance 2015. If you don't know, Just Dance is a dancing game where you try to follow dance moves. I remember some teachers would pull videos of screen recordings of Just Dance and make you follow the dance moves, which sums up the reason why you shouldn't buy the game. Mario Kart 8 is probably the best game in the series. In this game, you get so much speed that you can go up walls, on the ceiling, and underwater. You can even fly in this game. Definitely a Mario Kart game, unlike Sonic All-Stars Racing Transform, which isn't exactly a Mario Kart game.
Don't remember Mario being a hedgehog.
This game blew away my expectations because, after all, it is a Sonic game. There's a lot of stuff different here from a Mario Kart game. Drifting feels completely different. Also, you can switch car modes. You can be a car, a boat, or a plane. And hey, can Mario do that? Sometimes I don't even think Mario can make a good game, to be honest. New Super Mario Bros. U is probably a boring game. It's a game I grew up playing and I actually like a lot. I think because growing up I didn't know what a New Super Mario Bros. Is. I thought it was good. I think this game was a product of oversaturation. It's not that bad compared to the rest of the series. It's decent, but there are like 5 other games that look and play exactly the same, and that's why people hate it.
And people's opinions are wrong.
And there's some actually good Mario games on this console, like Super Mario Maker. It's fun to see people's levels that they make. There's some bad ones and some good ones, but long after the game's heyday, you mostly get good. As well, Super Mario 3D World definitely has a lot of creativity. A game that's also a part of my childhood. It's really fun and very similar to Mario Galaxy, except it's even more linear. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is a weird middle point for Smash, but definitely kept the hype going until Ultimate. It's a solid installment, but not as good as Ultimate and not as loved as Melee, which makes it fun to have. But if I have friends over, we're playing Ultimate, not this.
That leaves one more.
Wii Party U.
Interesting game.
It's a party game made by the same people who make the least liked Mario Party games.
And that was my Wii U collection. It's an interesting selection of games and pretty much a solid 3.5 cups of water. And that brings us to the Nintendo Switch and another Animal Crossing game.
Animal Crossing New Horizons is the latest installment in the Animal Crossing series. It's probably the best game in the series, but I'm a little indifferent to it. While it adds a lot of things that makes it the best game, it also removes a lot of the charm of the older games. There was a lot removed from New Leaf. Again, let me remind you that was on the 3DS. Tortimer's Island is now just random boring blank islands. They remove a lot of the shops, leaving with just 2 shops and NPCs coming to the square every now and then. And that just kind of makes playing the game boring post-game, as there's not much to do other than renovating your island, which I'm in the process of. Still really solid, but I kind of wish there was more. Next game is ARMS.
I have those.
ARMS is pretty mediocre. It was definitely an early Switch game that only served to give the Switch more exclusives, with not a lot of replayability. I get the same feelings for Cat and Toad Treasure Tracker. It's a decent game, but it needs a little more. I get the whole idea that the stages are short, but it takes like a maximum of 5 hours to complete. Pretty fun to zone out to, but there's not much else really. Now, Dragon Quest Builders is getting close to good. It's a pretty obvious Minecraft clone, but it is not awful. It has an interesting enough concept and more layers than Minecraft. I find it fun because it's basically just Minecraft Minecraft with RPG mechanics.
Some people find arson fun.
Fire Emblem Three Houses is the only Fire Emblem game I've ever played. I put more than 45 hours into it and haven't really gotten anywhere close to the end. Hopefully one day I can have enough time to finish the game. Goat Vacation is a game I find fun for no reason. It's basically Wii Sports in an open world sandbox. With 4 resorts to explore, there's a lot to do. Each is really interesting and I've had fun in all of them. Most of the sports are boring as a downside, but it's really about the open world. If this sounds interesting, I would definitely buy it.
I'd buy anything at this point.
Harvest Moon Light of Hope is a game far from the prime of the series, yet I still enjoy it. The art style and the general story of the game are boring, but I found the farming fun. Because everything else is so boring, you really just want to farm. But the game is no Stardew Valley. I've really grown to love Stardew. It took me a while to get into it, but I found it to be the best farming game. It's easy to automate a lot of the farming, unlike Harvest Moon, letting you get more into farming.
Is it weird I like manual labor games?
I know I've probably said this a lot, but Katamari Damacy is a weird game. You're the prince of the universe, and you use this ball which you need to pick up objects with. Surprisingly, it's a lot of fun. Only problem is it's a bit short, and there's one level where you gotta be really giant. I just wish there were more. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just a better version of Mario Kart 8. Everything I said about Mario Kart 8 also applies here. I never bought the DLC for Mario Kart 8, so it just adds all the DLC, making it a good purchase for me. As well, there's a significant graphics update to it, which I liked. Moving on to Mario and Rabbids. Whoever thought that Mario and Rabbids were gonna have a collab?
I did.
It actually is really fun. It's definitely a unique experiment. To me though, it's a game I pick up every now and then and not much else. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is also fun. It piqued my attention when it came out, and I can confirm for good reason. I was dogging on the original Marvel Ultimate Alliance before for being a weird fit for Wii, and I can say that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is actually a good fit for the Switch. It's a pick up and play game which fits the Switch. The only problem is it's a bit mindless and it's just a gameplay loop of a story. Onto Minecraft. This is Bedrock, which means it's different from the true Minecraft Java edition, but it is solid. There's not much to say about Minecraft that hasn't been said, other than I found this version on road trips.
Something you can't say about Quest 64.
My time at Portia is just kind of bad if I'm honest. I had an era in my life where I spent all my money on bad games if you can't tell. It seems to be running the same way as Stardew, yet it lacks a lot of polish. Also, the focus is on farming and I'm never certain on an objective. Also, Nintendo Labo is a pretty dumb release. The Switch could use a wheel add-on for example, but do I want that to be cardboard? Not really. It was a cool idea, but I don't know what happened to my game card, so all I have is cardboard.
This costed $70.
Octopath Traveler is a really interesting RPG. It has a beautiful art style and there's so much to do. That kind of makes me overwhelmed. I like taking my game slow and seeing everything there is, but there's too much to see in this game. Still, this is one I really wanted to explore more, as I know I'd like it.
Also, I'm this world's not an RPG guy.
Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. This release is really cute, and there's such a polish to the game, even though it's probably like the 3rd or 4th remake of this game. I still like it. I even own the Pokeball attachment. Still, I'd rather play a different Pokemon game if I'm honest. I still haven't played through the original Yellow, so why would I want to play through a remake? That's just my opinion though.
I've heard worse opinions. Some people like Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Rocket League is a fun game. It's soccer with cards. Who wouldn't like that? I'm still not very good at it, but I enjoy trying. It's another game to put on its own out too. That's my kind of game. In that regard, it's very similar to Civilization 6. Civ is a game you can also zone out to, and it's really fun to manage your civilization.
That's great and all, but I want to go fast.
Sonic Mania.
Dang! It's not Sonic Forces.
Sonic Mania is Sonic going back to its roots, and then immediately ruining that one game after. Sonic Mania is actually solid. You can actually go fast in the game. It's really replayable with a bunch of characters. As well, there's an encore to the game, adding more levels. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. Sonic Forces is better. Sonic Forces is a game I actually enjoy for some reason. I've played it about 5 or 6 times now. I can say that every time it gets kind of worse. I'm not sure why. It's definitely because I've played better Sonic games. It's still super easy. You can't even game over, so you can just kind of shut off your brain and beat it. It's like, alright.
It's the best game ever made.
Splatoon 2 is one of my only shooting games. I usually pick up this release every 6 months and play 5 to 10 hours of it because the online's pretty fun. It's a pretty solid release and I even got it day one.
I wish I got Starlink day one.
Starlink, the game I didn't get day one. This game is interesting but also just seems like a worse version of No Man's Sky. The Toys to Life element is semi-interesting, but the game is just kind of You're forced to stay in your starship for all of it. Even still, I'd still like to play through it.
This is the guy who played through Sonic and the Secret Rings.
That brings us to Mario Odyssey. I played a chunk, but I still haven't finished it. One day I'll have to beat it though, because no need to say this is one of the best Mario games. Super Mario Party is a game I've had a lot of fun with. While it doesn't have a lot of maps and it's filled with motion controls, it is a fun time. That is, if I had someone to play with.
Hey, I made some food. Do you want some?
Can't you see? I'm busy.
You're playing Mario Party alone.
I can't deal with this now. Luigi's about to buy Boardwalk.
Tetris 99 is one of the best online games, and probably the best Tetris game, except for Worlds. It has a bunch of modes and extra, plus you can play online if you want to pay for it. Probably my favorite version of Tetris. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild still isn't top Tetris 99 for me because you don't play as a spinning cube. Breath of the Wild really was a breath of fresh air for the series.
I see what you did there.
The series, after a long hiatus, needed a game like Breath of the Wild. It's open world and so filled with life, which gave it a sense of wonder that Ocarina of Time gave at release. But the Switch needed 1-2 Switch way more. What even was this game? I do have some other games in my Switch library. Most are cheap eShops games, like, but do you really want me to talk about Bouncy Bob?
And that's my Switch collection. A solid 8 cups of water. Well, I do have other collections, but I'm not really gonna rate those because they're kind of lame.
I have a pretty good Game Boy collection, but I don't want to bore you. It'd be mostly...
This is Mario Golf, it's semi-fun. This is Mario Advance, it's kind of stupid. This is Advance Wars, I can never beat it, it's too hard.
I also have a 3DS collection, but I lost all of it when I forgot to take it off a plane. My Xbox 360 got corrupted, sadly making it so I can't save. I own a few games for consoles I don't own for some reason. One day I'll play them, I bet. My PC game collection is pretty good as well. I have the real Minecraft and all the Sims games. The Sims is fun to me because there's so much to do, plus you can make it into a torture simulator.
Well, I think I got the perfect game for cult member. So, are you enjoying this?
It's actually kind of boring. Do you have any movies or TV shows?
I'll be right back. Well, let's look for movies.
I actually have a pretty good movie and TV show collection. I have some movies I liked watching as a child, as well as some Mario and Sonic cartoons. I own some Marvel movies. I like Into the Spider-Verse a lot, and the rest are pretty alright. I own some Cartoon Network DVDs because I watched the network a lot back in the States. I wanted to rewatch some shows, so I picked up some I liked on DVD, but nothing compares to favorite cartoon.
I think I have the perfect show. Cult member, I found something for us to watch. Cult member?
Sit down.
I'm already sitting.
You really need to look in the video.
Yeah, I know. I'll get on to that.
Yo, like, come on, I got resurrected. You still haven't even posted a video. And I helped with that.
Okay, I'll get on to it. What the heck hit me? Huh. What's this? No! Well, now it's 2022. I think my game collection must have been upgraded. And that's something to talk about, right?
Well, I guess we can start with games I got in January, starting with Mirror's Edge. Making a game about parkour was a great idea, especially with combat and guns. I had fun playing through this game, unlike Infamous 2, which I didn't play through. In January, I got a sick laptop as well. It has pretty good parts, so it can run most games fairly well. And with my computer, I got
Another pack of dice?
a few games. No Man's Sky was the first. I actually bought it at full price for some reason, even though Steam sales happen like very often. There's so many plans to play, although it's basically just a grind simulator. It's fun to explore a galaxy and make bases with friends. Ark also is a game. I don't really like Ark because I don't really get what you're supposed to do. Also, like 99% of the game is locked behind DLC. City Skylines was another game. It's actually really hard to manage a city. The game doesn't hold your hand at all. Subnautica is very similar to No Man's Sky, except in the ocean. I had a lot of fun with this one, as the survival features are more fun, and you can also make structures like in No Man's Sky.
Isn't every game like No Man's Sky?
Stardew Valley isn't, but I already talked about this one last year. I owned it on the Switch, and I just really wanted it on my laptop. Covet is the exact opposite vibe from Stardew. It's really hard, but you can definitely beat it. Now, Ring Fit is hard because I'm not fit. It's really interesting to mix RPG with exercise, and it works surprisingly well. The Oregon Trail board game was something I owned. You know, what the old computer game needed. Cardboard. I also got the Mario Game & Watch, which is pretty cool.
It was one of my life goals to play ball in the Game & Watch.
I got this game that hit my head and Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, a Zelda spin-off which takes an insane amount of time to complete fully. On another note, I bought Among Us on Switch.
I'd buy Bread 2 at this point.
It's honestly really weird playing Among Us with a controller, but I'm pretty sure everyone's sick of this game, and that was January.
1 cup of water because it's the first month.
Moving on to February, I bought Among Us again. Well, there goes $10. I bought a Wii because I wanted a copy of Mario Kart Wii that was included. It came with 2 Guitar Hero games, a Cooking Mama game, and a copy of Deca Sports with no cover as well. I really did just buy this for Mario Kart Wii. Of course, it came with a copy of Wii Sports and Wii Play, or what I like to call them, 2 games I already owned multiple times.
I bought 2 copies of Among Us. This is the least of my crimes.
I got this copy of 007 Legends. It's a James Bond game. I had to fuel my shopping addiction somehow.
And that's it. I'm feeling a solid 4 cups because I bought 2 games I already own and 2 copies of Among Us.
Now, moving on to March, I bought these 2 original Xbox controllers, a Sims 2 pack which does not work, and a game called Create. For some reason I thought Create looked a little like Sword, but it's not. With that out of the way, I started playing Destiny 2. I wasted like a good 10 hours in the first world because I was bored or something. At least I know Destiny 2 has a good future being uninstalled on my computer. I tried both old and new RuneScape and played like a bit of old, and then I uninstalled them. I got Black Desert Online because it was free and then never played it.
Sorry, only Quest 64 and signing the secret rings here.
I'm not even that into MMOs. Why did I want 3? Pokemon Mirage Session is like a weird Persona game, which is also a Fire Emblem crossover. I was looking for time to play it, but just never got around to it. Whoops. I saw Chibi Robo Zip-Lash on sale and got it just to own, not to play. I played a lot of Jackbox with friends. It has a lot of different modes in which you do stuff like drawing, come up with answers to prompts, do a presentation, and other stuff. I also got Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, as it looked like something I'd want to play in the future, and Nintendo just had to make it a timed exclusive.
I'm feeling a solid 13 cups of water because that's how many months I've been playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Moving on to April, we have Mario 3D All-Stars, aka the bane of everyone's existence. I hope to do a presentation on why this game is like the worst thing ever. I still saw copies in stores like a year later. You can probably still find it rotting in a backcountry Walmart. Besides that, it's nice to have these 3 games on Switch for $60. I bought 3 game CDs because they seem like a deal. Microsoft Flight Simulator X, D&D Baldur's Gate 2, and a Civ 4 expansion pass. Only Microsoft Flight Simulator works on my computer, and it's alright. If you don't fly a plane, just get the new one. I got a Short Hike, which is a fun little summer game. You're a bird whose goal is to get to the top of this mountain with a lot of extra stuff to do. Spirit Fair is up next. This game actually is fun, even though your goal is to help people be happy before they die.
Death is inevitable.
We're ending this month with Little Nightmares, which is a fun little story.
And I can say, nothing in it scared me.
The game isn't overly scary, just really creepy. It's something a kid would make up in their dreams, which, if you couldn't tell it from the title, I don't know what to tell you.
And that's it for April. I'd give it a solid 6 cups of water. It was ruined a little bit in the Mario collection area, but pretty solid overall.
And then I bought nothing in May.
I'd give it 10 cups of water.
June was a pretty cool month. I got Euro Truck Simulator 2, a fun game where you can act like a trucker. I don't actually have a steering wheel. We use the keyboard here. I got Undertale as well, a game with a lot of charm, but I haven't played all the way through. Terraria is another game I bought. It's very similar to Minecraft, but 2D, something I bet no one has ever said before. I don't really know what to do in this game because I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of the game like I do with Minecraft. I still haven't beat it, but it's on my list of things to do.
Here comes the best game of all time.
Snaky Bus.
Yes!
It's like if the Google Snake game was a bus. Speedrunners also exist. You have to outrun the other players, but with Mario Kart items basically. Unless you're playing online, then get ready to play with sweats.
This is why Snaky Bus is the better game.
I got 2 Point Hospital, a game where you have to build and manage a hospital. I like making a place where you look at it and see a dystopia, yet it's the most popular hospital ever. One day, I will make the best hospital.
Or start a riot at second headquarters.
I bought both Portal games as well. I played through 1 and it's solid. The story is good, the gameplay is good. The worst part is that it's super short. I haven't played 2 story, but I played a lot of the online courses, and that's it for June.
10 cups of water because Snaky Bus.
Welcome to July, where all I got was Beyond Wonderworld. I played this game for a couple levels, then got bored, maybe because it sucks. I should probably start buying good games. For some reason these screen recordings take up way too much storage, like 16 gigabytes for 30 minutes. I also got a Windows Service disc. I'm really running out of stuff to talk about.
1 cup of water because Beyond Wonderworld sucks.
Welcome to August, where I got 2 first-person shooters that I barely played.
10 cups of water.
And then I didn't get anything for September, October, or November.
30 cups for compensation.
In December, I actually got something. I got 51 Clubhouse games, which is a bunch of tabletop games from around the world. There's a total of, I don't know, like 52 games. Plus they ran out of actual board games, so there's games like golf and tennis in here. The other is Sports Party, which I couldn't download because the code was in a different region. 51 cups of water for 51 Clubhouse games. And that was my collection in both 2020 and 2022. I really enjoy my collection like many others probably. There's something about having a collection no matter what it is that's enjoyable. Maybe it's because it's a collection of something that you're passionate about, or maybe it's just a collection of something dumb like dice. I really love my collection, hope it doesn't randomly disappear. Dang it.